Hello, I'm Daisy, and I had a really insane experience in elementary school. In second grade, I had been out of school for about 2 weeks because of COVID. This was right after things had started going back to normal, so it felt really strange returning to school. My best friend, who is still my best friend today, Daniela, had been talking to a boy named Samuel. Samuel wasn't very nice, and on top of that, Daniela had promised me she wouldn't talk to boys. Yeah, I was upset about that, as you can probably tell. I also had another friend named Madeline, who becomes more important later in 4th and 5th grade, but she was already part of my life at this point. Samuel caused a lot of tension between me and Daniela. He was rude, stirred up drama, and made things uncomfortable. At one point, Samuel and I actually became friends, but the situation was still messy. By the end of the year, though, things between Daniela and me were mostly fine again. Third grade started off pretty calm. Nothing major happened between Daniela and Samuel, and overall the year was actually decent until Madeline became a bigger issue. Madeline would pull my hair, hit me, and call me names whenever I didn't let her choose the game or use my computer on Roblox. She was really mean and controlling. Eventually, my parents had enough of how she treated me, and they banned her from coming to my house. Fourth grade is when things really went downhill. This is when Vanessa transferred to my school. She immediately started hanging out with Madeline. That year, Daniela had moved to a different school, and I wasn't talking to Samuel much anymore, even though we had been friends at one point. Because of that, Madeline was my only best friend left, and I was scared of losing her. So instead of distancing myself from Vanessa, which would have been the smart choice, I became friends with her. Vanessa had lost her mom, and I didn't know about it. I accidentally said something involving her mom, and it did not end well at all. Instead of just being upset, she took it way further. She and her cousin started attacking me on Google Chat. They called me slurs, and she also said the N-word, called me horrible names, told me to unalive myself, and wished death on me multiple times. I eventually snapped and said something really awful back. I called her a motherless insult, which I deeply regret. Even after all of that, we somehow became friends again. But the fighting never stopped. One time during gym class, Vanessa and her cousin randomly started screaming at me while I was already crying because another student had yelled at me earlier. I wasn't even doing anything, I just wanted comfort, and instead I got attacked again. 5th grade was not good at all. At the start of the year, everyone was mad at each other. Even though I didn't feel like I had done anything wrong, I apologized to Vanessa and Madeline just to keep the peace. We became friends again, but Samuel was still angry at me. Samuel told them that if they played with me, he would stop being friends with them. They still chose to go hang out with him anyway. If I ever tried to do the same thing, they would most likely hit me or threaten me. For a while, we were friends again, but then Vanessa and I had a huge fight. I told her I needed space, but instead of understanding, everyone took her side. I was left alone by a tree at recess, surrounded by glass, and I ended up hurting myself. I know I overreacted, but I was extremely emotionally attached to them, and it all felt like too much at once. When I finally stopped being friends with them completely, they started attacking me online and even got me banned from a website I don't want to name. After that, I never heard from them again.
Hello, stars! Call me EpiPen, and today I'll be exposing my classmate. My teacher introduced this boy. We're gonna call him Daniel. Anyway, a few weeks later, Daniel was talking with his friend Kevin, and they were discussing liking someone. At first, I thought they were talking about my friend. At break time, I met up with my friend Rachel and said, I think Daniel likes Gia. But Rachel told me that he actually liked me. I just kept laughing because she wouldn't stop talking about how I supposedly wanted to kiss him, which was absolutely not true. About a month later, Daniel started getting really annoying. He kept calling my name nonstop like he wanted attention or something. I don't know if he thought I would care, but he constantly told me that his friends had crushes on me. On top of that, he kept making comments about my body, like saying my butt was big, which made me really uncomfortable. Then one day, I wore my natural hair to school. Later, Daniel said behind my back that my hair was short, didn't go anywhere, and that I smelled bad. My friend Ray told me what he said, and I was so mad. That was honestly the last straw. I was tired of him being disrespectful and annoying, so I told the teacher. Long story short, he got kicked out of class. Hee hee. Anyway, that's it. See you later, Sigmas.
Okay, so listen to this. At my school, this guy Victor joined because he got expelled from his old school, for slapping the principal. And honestly, he seemed a little off. Even some of the teachers were a bit concerned. He ended up in my class and sat near a group of gossiping girls, Kira, Ma, Diana, and Maya. So Victor had a crush on this girl, Amelia. Amelia was super goody two-shoes and didn't really like Victor's past, so she rejected him. Obviously, Victor was upset. Later that day, we had a free period, and the gossiping girls were at it again. Maya started gossiping about a guy whose name sounded kind of like Victor's. Victor thought she was talking about him. And then things escalated. Victor grabbed a metal water bottle, like a fully filled one, and slowly walked up to Maya and hit her with it. Maya was shocked and started crying. She pushed him, trying to get away, but that just made him angrier. He grabbed her hair, pushed her onto a desk, and started hitting her with the bottle again. He was about to swing it at her head when one of my friends, Aaron, stepped in and stopped him. Other students ran to get teachers, and when they tried to hold him back, he was still struggling and trying to get at her. Eventually, they got him under control and took him to the principal's office. After everything calmed down, my best friend Sophia and I checked the bottle. It was completely dented, like someone had smashed it in, and it had a little bit of, let's just call it ketchup on it. Honestly, it was one of the scariest things I've ever seen at school.
Hello everyone, my name is Thunder, and in this video I will be exposing some of my classmates. One of them is a student, let's call him Ethan. Ethan and I have been friends for a while now, but we stopped hanging out because TikTok literally ruined things between us. Anyway, I was at after school one day, which both Ethan and I attend. I was just chilling with some 6th graders when one of Ethan's classmates came up to me and asked, "Do you know Ethan?" I said yes, because I do know him, and honestly, I have a crush on him, but that's besides the point. She then told me that Ethan is kind of problematic and that he has said some racist things. I won't repeat what was said because I don't do that. Still, I was really shocked because he doesn't seem like the type of person who would say things like that. She also said that he's annoying, so I guess at least we have that in common. Even though we don't hang out much anymore, Ethan and I still talk sometimes. People also ship us every now and then, which makes things kind of awkward. That's all for now.
Hi, okay, so there was this one time in class I'll call my teacher Ms. Lynn. I ended up getting partnered with this boy I'll call Sebastian. He's really weird and acts like a wannabe class clown, and honestly, I just don't like him very much. We were working on an activity where we had to organize some cards and then explain to the teacher how we organized them at the end of class. We finished the task without any major issues, and when it was time to clean up, things got annoying. For some reason, Sebastian decided to try to grab the cards out of my hands while I was holding them. I didn't let go, but he suddenly snatched the cards away from me anyway. I'm pretty sure that's when I got a paper cut on one of my fingers. I don't remember exactly which finger it was, but I do remember how much it hurt. It wasn't a small sting either, it really hurt, and I didn't like it at all. I went and told Ms. Lynn what happened. She told me that it would be fine. She also mentioned that I should just let it heal and maybe put a bandage on it. When I got home later, that's exactly what I did. I cleaned it and put a bandage on it so it could heal properly. So yeah, that's my story.
Hey, my awesome blue stars, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to comment with blue hearts if you've reached this far, and also mention whose story was your favorite. Peace out, my awesome blue stars. Bye.